Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Spy Family, episode 8 and possibly on. And I say that because it's been a while since I've recorded this. It's actually been a few weeks. I recorded episode 7 when it came out. And as of when I'm recording this, episode 10 just came out. So it's been a few weeks since I've recorded any Spy Family. And I think the reason is because I just barreled through so much of it so quickly. I just barreled through so much of the series in such fast succession that it's not that it became bad for me or that it became old for me. It's more just that I wanted to get to everything else. I wanted to take a break from recording that and get to everything else. But because it's been a few weeks, I am ready to record more. And I say 8 and on, not only just because it's been a few weeks and there's, 3 episodes to catch up on as of when I'm recording, but also because I kind of just really want to get to more at this point. I really want to get back into it because I've been missing out and everything, and I want to see reactions to it and get back into it. It's a fantastic series. I've been loving the shit out of it, but I definitely need to get back to things, so yeah. And on top of that, because of that, I just want to not really dedicate myself to only one episode today. I want to go, it's like, okay, we'll go for as long as we want. If we do one episode and we end it there, okay. If we do 2, cool. If we do all 3 of them in one go, I'm good with that. I'm completely good with any option. I'm just gonna basically leave it off when I feel it's right. And yes, I could technically record things like one at a time and everything. And just do record a bunch of videos. Like I could record 3 separate videos for 3 separate reactions, but I might kind of just want to do it all in one. Sometimes it's fine to put up a multi-episode reaction. So I'm good with it. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll determine it as we watch. Last time we had some more school stuff. Just getting into developing all of that now that we've had so much time to develop the family stuff. And I've been seeing a lot of people on social media shipping Damien and Anya. And I'm just like, are you fucking watching the series? Like, I mean, I don't know what happens in these next 3 episodes, but Anya fucking hates Damien. 'Cause he's a fucking piece of shit. And the entire thing about him having a crush on her because she hit him is really kind of fucked up. Like even ignoring the kids thing, it's like that's not even an issue here because kids can have crushes on each other. It happens. People need to realize that shipping kid characters is not sexualizing. There are some people who genuinely believe that, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Shipping does not equal sex, you dumbass. But it's not that issue. The issue lies in the fact that the entire trope of enemies to lovers, or enemies to partners, I guess would be more appropriate to say here, is a troublesome trope as it is. And it has to really delicately be handled to be done well. The problem is, most of the time this kind of trope is done, it's done in this kind of way. it comes across as a very abusive or unhealthy in general relationship. And it's like there's nothing about these two that makes them that would make this kind of relationship feel like anything less than that, or anything better than that would be a better way to put it. It just would come across as very unhealthy and borderline abusive. Because, like, Damien is a bully. He is an active bully. He has actively bullied Anya and Becky. And it's just like, there's no reason to support this crush. And the entire thing about kids, like, having a crush on someone who hits them and all, that's also just very unhealthy. And yeah, there's been real life examples of that, of course, but that doesn't mean it's a good thing. It's like the entire opposites attract ideology that's just not really okay or correct. Like, you should not be in a relationship with someone who is like who has an opposed viewpoint on things to you, who is very different from you, because that just breeds just combativeness. Again, probably a weird word to use here, but whatever. The point is, that's not going to end well for your relationship. A good, positive, healthy relationship should be between people who have a lot of shit in common, who can connect with each other. Opposites don't attract. Opposites repel because they're at odds with each other by nature. That's the point. That's why they're opposites. So it's like I'm always against that kind of trope. The opposites attract trope, the kind of enemies to lovers kind of thing. It's rarely done well. And usually when it is, there's a lot of exceptions to a lot of it. Like, oh, you have enemies to lovers, but they're not opposing forces. They're not like opposites attract. No, they're actually very similar in a lot of ways. Or they weren't originally enemies and they became enemies and then became lovers afterwards. Like Catra and Adora from She-Ra. It's like they were friends to enemies to lovers. And it's like they started off as very close friends. They weren't originally enemies. That helps make it work. But it's like something like this, where it's just like Damien is a piece of shit bully who was absolutely horrific to her. Like, right off the bat, it's like, yeah, no. I just do not understand how anyone could ship that. It's like, fuck that. If you want to ship someone with Anya, just ship her with Becky. That'd be a lot more healthy. Like, Becky was a little rude at first, but she's come around and has been a good friend to Anya. Ship those two together. That's fine. I feel like a lot of people also just automatically go for the male-female ship just by nature, because it's what a lot of us were, in fact, pretty much all of us, were raised on. We were raised to just see that as the norm, as the, like, natural state. And that's really stupid. But we still subconsciously lean back into that sometimes. And it's bad. It's terrible. But it's how we were raised, and we have to work to better ourselves and get ourselves out of those mindsets. But yeah, it's just the entire thing of Anya and Damien just irritates me because of how horrifically toxic that ship is. And I'm fine with shipping Anya and Becky. I think that would actually be pretty cute. I think that they actually have chemistry with each other, that they actually like each other, that they're not pieces of shit towards each other. Damien doesn't deserve, not just Anya, but doesn't deserve anything right now. And I know he's a kid, I understand that. I know it's probably mostly through conditioning and everything from his parents. But at the same time, it's like, I'm sorry, it still comes across as toxic. And unless he changes who he is on a very fundamental, very deep level, I can't get behind it. And I can't get behind liking him as a character. Like, I mean, outside of just thinking he's an entertaining foil for Anya to work off of. But yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, I can't get behind that idea. I've just seen so many people making fan art of it and talking about it. It grossed me out so much. And part of that's probably because I've known people who have been in really bad toxic relationships, and I was in a very short relationship, mind you, like 2 dates with someone who ended up being really, really fucking toxic and not okay. And mind you, I hope he gets help for that, but there's definitely issues there that it's like, yeah, I can't really associate with him anymore at all. So that should give you some information on that. But yeah, it's like I can't get behind toxic relationships, like, and I try not to just automatically force myself to see the male and female characters as shipping fuel. I don't just try to automatically see that anymore. I've tried to work past that and better myself to see that it's like I base it on chemistry and stuff now, and, you know, likeness. But anyway, we're just going to get into this and hope for the best. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode or episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I'm kind of mixed on these episodes. I actually really love the idea of Lloyd starting to question things about Yor and starting to try to, like, even figure things out. I mean, obviously, the entire way he was trying to trick her into revealing herself was kind of messed up. But I like it as a storyline. I think it works for his character and everything, and allows for some great moments that develop both him and Yor excellently. And Yor's own worries over how good of a wife she's being as part of this fake family allows her to develop and grow through that as well, and showing those fears to Lloyd, again, it passes over to him. They're actually, with these storylines of their own doubts, they're able to build themselves and each other up, and it's a great character development plot point. Anya was actually really not relevant in these episodes, which was kind of surprising. They focused almost not on her at all. She had a couple moments of cute humor and stuff, but like she very much took a backseat, which was actually really surprising. Now, I said I was mixed. So what's the part that I'm not as fond of with these episodes? Yuri. I don't like Yuri. I don't like him as a character. Not just in terms of like, oh, he's obviously a bad guy because he's working with the secret police, even if he doesn't realize it. Which I think might be the case. I don't think he realizes he's the bad guy in this situation, but he is. I think he is just trying to help his country and his sister and everything. But I also don't like his character. I think he's gross. There's very much hints here that he has a thing for her. Simply, here's the thing. There's a lot of kids who will say to their siblings, I'm gonna marry you when I grow up. There's even kids who will say that to their mother. It's because kids don't understand what marriage truly is. They don't really get it, and so they think, oh, people who are in love get married. I love my sister, or I love my mother, or so on and so forth. So it's like that's how their minds comprehend it. Obviously, as we grow up, we learn that it's a different kind of love, and that it's not quite okay to think about that about your family and everything. Yor does not seem to have grown up in that way, though. He seems to, I guess because of the fact that they don't have any other family or anything really, that all they had was each other, he kept that ideology. He kept that viewpoint on love. Like, it's made very clear in these episodes, he's jealous of Lloyd. And that's his issue. It's not that he's just an overprotective brother. It's that he's actively jealous of Lloyd, and that he actively has feelings for his sister, which is really fucking creepy and not okay. Like, that's just really fucking gross. And again, it's one of those things that anime does, unfortunately, too much. It's one of those things that anime tends to do, having some kind of romantic subtext or whatnot for a brother and a sister or whatnot. Though sometimes they'll at least do it for, like, you know, non-blood related family members. Like, it's like, oh, you came into the family when our parents got married. It's like, you're my step sister. It's like, but that's still, it's like, you're still family. It's still gross. It's not okay. It's just, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of that trope, and I don't watch shows that usually do that. Like, I know there's, like, shows out there, like, I think the one is just called Kiss Sis. And it's just like, can we just not do shit like that? Like, even fucking Sword Art Online even played with that. And it's just like, it's just really fucking uncomfortable. And so that's, I just don't like him. And it's really fucking weird because it's like, I love everything else about this show, but his character feels, honestly, very out of place because of that. If it was just the fact that he was secret police, I'd be fine with him. If it was just the fact that he was secret police and he was maybe suspicious of Lloyd, okay, cool. That would be all great. But the entire creepy obsession and even love aspect in that regard is just, it's uncomfortable to way too high of a degree. And it's just not really something I can get behind. So, unfortunately, that does really bother me, and I just, it does make me really not like his character. And honestly, I just didn't find much of anything they did with him funny or entertaining at all. Because that was pretty much the big reliance on his character, his obsession with his sister. Like, the secret police thing was kind of like more of a background thing, while that's more of the character that we focus on, and it's not okay. It's just not okay. So, yeah, I'm just not a fan of that. But like I said, I love the stuff with Lloyd and Yor having these issues on how they're coming across and how each other are coming across and everything. All of that was great. And there was some great comedy within this, too. But I feel really fucking bad for Yor for almost being kind of forced into kissing Lloyd when, even though they've definitely been developing feelings for each other, it is still in their minds a fake marriage, so there isn't really that true love connection at the moment. And so Yor is like freaking out. Lloyd is willing to do it. He's done this before as a spy and everything, but Yor is actively freaking out. This is something she hasn't done before. This is something that is frightening to her. It's a first kiss. It's a big deal. And on top of that, to have it be with someone who, like, she's in a fake relationship for mutual gain it's just... Yeah, it's just, how are you going to not be freaked out by that? I mean, and different people would handle it in different ways. But for someone like Yor, with her personality in general, yeah, she's going to panic. Like, I could probably handle it. I could probably handle doing something like that. But Yor definitely is someone who is just not really okay with doing that. She gets really embarrassed really easily. And even with the wine, she couldn't commit to it. She tried. And she was definitely more close to doing so, but she couldn't commit and ended up just like slapping Yuri instead. A couple of times. Yeah, it's just, I feel really bad for her almost being forced into that, because it's like, yeah, it just kind of makes me hate Yuri even more. Yuri just sucks. He just sucks. But the secret police thing, it's like, that's gonna be, I guess, interesting to see how that continues to be integrated into things. But yeah, it's like, I definitely think it is the deal with him that he doesn't know he's the bad guy in this situation. He thinks he is genuinely trying to stop a neighboring country that's a danger to them, when in reality, they're just trying to stop his own country from fucking starting an all-out war. It's just... And of course, they look at Twilight as the main enemy of themselves, so... Yeah, that's ironic. Just... Yeah, again, this subplot with the secret police and everything, I like that part of it, but it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. And I as kind of almost rude as it sounds, I hope we don't get a lot of Yuri. I just don't like him. I find him creepy and just gross, and I just don't want to see a lot of him in this series. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, tell me in the comments below what you thought of these 2 episodes of Spy Family, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.